guys, welcome back to the channel. Everyone's having a fantastic day. So today I got this package in, and this is pretty much the last piece of my headlights, but minus the bulbs, obviously. So we're in the office right now to unbox everything because my bedroom's an absolute mess. And I apologize for any sort of weird noises the case is making. It's completely kaput now. So I'm gonna definitely need to buy a new case within the next, little while. Here's actually the piece that broke. When I filmed that video of me doing the blower motor install, this is what happened. It completely snapped it, and it was hanging on by a thread, and then the piece that actually clipped onto the metal bar on top of the case broke off as well, which was actually this piece here. So, yeah, it doesn't have any way to hold on now, so I'm just having to go for it, I guess. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and open up this little package here. I'm going to try not to show my address, because I didn't even bother hiding it in this one, like I tend to do with packages and stuff. So pretty much the reason I did that is because I'm in a rush to film this, because I've got to make a phone call here about school. Always fun stuff when the school glitches, tries to charge you almost $700, owes up to the mistake, but doesn't fix it. And school class started today. And I talked to them about this several months ago, barely got any progress. Talked to them Friday, got a little bit of progress, but not a lot. And now I've got to call them today to pretty much just step on them a little bit and be like, hey, let's move. Alright. So we have two boxes. And these are Profile Performance halos. And these are not just any, they're pivot accent halos, apparently. So, let's check them out. I know they're going to be massive. They really aren't that big. I was kind of expecting to be a lot bigger than this. These are supposed to be 110 millimeter halos. This is really 110 millimeters. This is still really small. But they are switchback halos. So pretty much how these will work is they'll hook up to the accessory for the white DRL. And then in the blink ground, these will blink orange to give me a switchback kind of style. I didn't really want to do a whole lot of RGB in this thing. I kind of just wanted to do something kind of simple. So that's where the idea of the switchback halos came from. I swear these were supposed to be a lot bigger. They don't seem that big. So here is the harness itself, with the controller and all that junk. It's also got connectors already set up to go, as well as this. I don't really know what this is. If I get to guess, it's some sort of like attachment of some sort to make the whole thing work. And take the foam out. Is there any sort of paper stuff in here I need to look over? Doesn't look like it. So, not a lot really to talk about. I guess this might be like the literature. Or not. I don't know, really. But I got these from Lightworks over eBay. So these are the 110s. So I didn't accidentally get the wrong size or anything. So, go ahead and just package this back up. I was expecting to be a lot bigger, I'm not going to lie. I actually thought these were going to be, like, ginormous. Which is why I bought the 110 millimeter. Was because I was kind of, like, expecting them to be, a lot bigger than this, to say the least. So I'm going to go ahead and repackage this up somehow. I'm not really good at repackaging stuff like this. So yeah, Profile Performance halos, which I'm really excited about. That didn't sound good. I'm about to go make that phone call, and once I get off the phone, I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys a mock-up of this on my actual lights outside I'll do them on the one that I actually have in my bedroom, and then we'll talk more about the lighting setup and stuff like that, because I have a lot to talk about with the truck right now, so that'll probably be like more towards the end. But yeah, that's the new thing going on, Profile Performance halos for my truck. So I'm going to go make this phone call, and we'll get back to it later on. Alright guys, so now we're back in the bedroom. We've got both halos out, well, their boxes at least. So I'm going to go ahead and take the headlights, or one of them out, so I don't have to go and dig for the other one. And I'm going to go ahead and just take one of each out. That way we have the kind of like just the idea of how things are going to look. 110 millimeter halo. You see, it's not quite as big as I thought it was going to be. From the measuring that me and the guys did over the weekend, we thought this would be a really tight fit. It's definitely not the case. This is going to be a rather wide. It's definitely not going to fit perfect at all. I definitely should have gotten bigger ones if I could have found them. I definitely thought these were going to be the perfect size. I guess I'm very wrong on that regard. But here's kind of the basic idea of what the halos will look like in the light. Again, kind of bummed out these aren't quite as big as I was hoping they'd be. But we'll figure it out. We'll work it out somehow. But anyway, that's the halo. Now we've got ourselves the full kind of setup we've got going on here for what is coming soon. Obviously this thing weighs a good bit, so it's really hard to set down. But this is our huge projector that we're going to be using on these things. This is like massive, so I'm very curious to see how this is going to fit back there on the actual light itself. These are huge projectors. It's weird. The halo actually could work really well, especially with the shroud on this thing on, to like go around the halo, the projector. So that could always be something we could look into doing. Because my original intention was to do something very similar to like the kits you see online of you know, the actual Sport Trac ones where they go around the entire like lens and all that jazz. And that's what I was wanting with these, but it looks like that's definitely not going to happen. So I'm going to take a quick Instagram picture of this. So yeah, that's going to be kind of like the setup we've got going on with all the lighting and stuff. So we've got these just ginormous projectors. Let's actually put the shroud on and see how well everything fits in terms of like the halo going over the shroud or something. It's almost like a perfect fit for the shroud of the halo, of the projector, I mean. So that's wild. So we're going to go ahead and put it back in its little bag here. But yeah, I'm going to come back to you guys here in a little while. Once I get back from going out and doing a quick little thing, a quick little errand. And then I'm going to talk about the rest of the truck, the entire lighting scenario. I've got a date on the exhaust stuff to go over with you guys. So I'm going to get back to you guys here in a little while. Alright guys, so we're now outside in the garage. It's actually really nice out, so I thought I'd come close the video out here. So we do have some updates about the truck behind me. So you guys saw the lighting is pretty much complete minus the bulbs. Now I'm waiting until my next paycheck, which will be my 15th, to buy those. Unless I just happen to come across, you know, some extra cash, which is doubtful, but you never know what could happen. Once those are ordered, pretty much me and my dad are going to take probably a weekend or two and practice on the set that's currently on the truck, those wrecked up, just destroyed headlights. And once we practice on those, cracking them open and attempting to resell them, we're not going to use the retro rubber, obviously, that I have for my scenario with my headlights. But we are going to use kind of them as a practice run, pretty much just to get the idea of how to put them back together. We'll probably, if we have like any silicone left over, we'll use that as like a practice resealer. From there, we'll be doing exhaust stuff. That's pretty much next on my list. Once I'm able to afford it, all I have to do now is get mufflers. I was torn between the Pipes M80s as well as the MagnaFlow 10416 muffler, which is a 14-inch long straight-through muffler. And I found that it was too quiet. I was really trying to do something more similar to the MagnaFlow competition on the 4.0, which sounds fantastic. But I found that those use like a more race series 6-inch muffler. So I went hunting those down. I found them for $89 a piece on Amazon. The dilemma is that there's only like 3 left in stock. By the time I'm able to, you know, drop 170, 180 bucks on mufflers, they're more than likely going to be out of stock. Now, obviously, I'm going to save that up anyway, just in case, you know, push comes to shove and they do pop up for sale, because that is what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'll be looking at dropping close to $280 on those 2 mufflers, which I'm not really willing to do, because that is like literally the entire cost of my setup as it is right now. And obviously I'm still going to have to get piping and stuff like that to extend out and hook up to my current setup. So all in all, it would just be such a huge problem for me to do. You know, the 6-inch MagnaFlow race series mufflers as it sits right now, unless they can stay in stock at that $89.99 price right now.
for a little while longer. Because if I don't go with the 7 I'm about to bring up, which is extremely cheap, it's looking like that's going to be the setup I will, run if the money is there and they stay up for sale long enough at that price. Because literally they're like I think I forget the exact percentage off, but Amazon has them for like a good bit off. I think it's like 44% off, something like that. Don't quote me. But anyway, my other options. So we've got the pipe still. I was thinking of SLP loudmouths, but apparently those have insane drone issues. And they sound fantastic. I really like the sound of the loudmouths, but the issue is the loudmouth ones are simply resonators. And it's not going to take a lot of sound away. It'd be extremely loud. Loudmouth 2s are quieter, which I like, but they also cost just as much as those MagnaFlow Race Series mufflers if I were to get them at the discount price. So therefore, I would rather get the MagnaFlow than I would the Loudmouth 2s at that price. So what else does that leave me with? I haven't really listened to a whole lot of other exhaust setups. I'm pretty much, like I've said, done with Flowmaster as a whole. So do not expect me to jump to like a Super 10 or something like that. That's not happening. We're probably going to stick with some sort of pipes or MagnaFlow idea. So my last option, I think this is going to be the one I go with because it's also the least expensive. I believe it's like $10 cheaper than the pipes mufflers, and that is MagnaFlow glass packs. Now this is going to be the loudest setup. It is still a high quality brand like MagnaFlow. Obviously pipes and SLP are really good as well, but MagnaFlow seems to be one of the top guys out there. When it comes to glass packs, they're a lot quieter than cherry bombs or something like that, which I really didn't want to do. I don't really like the sound of cherry bombs that much. So I'd rather go with something like a MagnaFlow, Magna Pack, I guess what they're called, or something of that nature. That's pretty much what it is. It's a Magna Pack. They're $33 a piece. They're insanely cheap. So it would cost me $66, not including shipping or anything, to get them here. And then from there, it would be just getting the money together for piping, because Michael is learning how to weld. So we might be able to put this thing on ramps and build our exhaust setup at my house, which will be really cool. Unless we just did a bunch of clamps, which I really don't want to do. Obviously, in some areas I want to have clamps, like for the axle back portion, I want to have clamps on it. So in the event I do have to replace a fuel pump, knock on plastic, I guess, I don't have to, drop the entire exhaust setup. I'd like to be able to just have little pieces of it that are modular that I can unbolt, and if I ever got crazy and wanted to change it out, I could just change out an axle back portion other than trying to change out the entire thing. And obviously I'm going to need hangers and stuff like that to make this all work. I probably will source that through MagnaFlow as well, because MagnaFlow has a lot of cool things on their site. I've been on their site. They have the Magna Pack glass pack mufflers. They've got those competition style mufflers, the big straight through mufflers. So there's a lot of good stuff on their site. And they also have an X pipe, which I've been thinking about since I'm not going to be going to Flowmaster anymore. That was the entire reason I got 2 1/4 piping, changing out the X pipe. The X pipe was $30. I could reuse it somewhere else as a brand new X pipe, so I could give it to, say, my dad. Granted, his car came with 2.5 inch on the factory, so that would be a terrible idea, but I could find another use for it, as well as I could swap the tips out and get those 4-inch tips I want. Or I could just stick to my plan now. 2 1/4 inch piping's cheaper anyway, and the only thing would be having to get some sort of adapters for the 2.5 inch mufflers, which is no big deal really. But that's kind of how it sits right now. I haven't decided yet entirely, but right now as it sits, for kind of like my main 2, because I'm not going to put those 6-inch competition race style mufflers in the running until I know that they'll be there at the pricing that I saw them at. Is going to be pipes M80s, which are pretty much glass packs, or Magna packs, which are glass packs. So, like I said, cherry bombs not in consideration. I don't really like the sound cherry bombs have. I don't really like, those auto zone mufflers, I guess you could say, stuff like Thrush, Flowmaster, and cherry bomb kind of stuff. Not my thing. So yeah, that's kind of that. I'm done with dual chambered stuff. I really want a straight through style. That's kind of what I was looking for, something that was quiet but not overbearingly restrictive and stuff like that. So I feel like if I did up to 2.5 inch piping, it'd be better, because then we'd have a little bit more flow and it would be a little bit more better for boost setups, because that's kind of the dilemma right now, is for boost safety. Some of that was part of why I wanted to switch to a dual exit, was to give it a bit more breathing room for, you know, a boost setup. And I feel like that, you know, a dual exit 2.5 inch probably would be the best scenario for, you know, not being overly expensive like a 3-inch setup, because I do feel like a 3-inch setup NA is just going to be a terrible idea for this thing, even with a tune. But that's kind of where we are with exhaust setup. So let me know which one you guys prefer. If you guys think I should go Magnapack or pipes M80. Obviously the pipes cost a little bit more. I believe they're about $80, and it would cost me $66 for the Magnapacks on their own. So it's a very hard decision for me. But let me know what you guys think of those two. Obviously, it's looking like within the next couple of months that'll be able to happen, especially if I get the Magnapacks. That could almost be, you know, when it comes down to it, if I go with either setup, it could be in terms of months, depending on when I want to spend the money, or weeks, if I get enough money and can swing it. That's kind of my goal right now, is I'm trying to save as much as I can right now, and, you know, go out cheap, stuff like that. I do have some gift cards left over from Christmas. I think I'm down to my last one, though, for food, because my grandparents gave us each 3 gift cards for food. That was $5, which I'm still having to spend money, but it's not quite as bad. If I go to Taco Bell a lot eating out, which I do like Taco Bell, so it would work out, I could eat food for really cheap. So I could theoretically save up the $60 I would need for the Magnapacks next check, but I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. But if you guys think I should go Pipes M80 or Magnapack, let me know in the comments which one you guys like better. Right now, I'm a fan of the Magnapacks. I prefer the MagnaFlow deep rumble. I prefer, you know, how MagnaFlow is with those glass packs. They're not terribly loud, but they're not quiet either. So it would be, you know, it'd be that good medium, especially with headers. It would be a really good medium, even though I'm not quite sure if those headers are even going to add volume at all. It's definitely going to make it run better in terms of high horsepower applications, but it's not going to be, you know, anything like that, like crazy loud or anything like long tube or anything on a race car. But anyway, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry for how long this end clip went on, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, everyone.